Hindi pa ako narinig. Copy. Fix myself.
And by 1 minute na lang.
Copy. Sean. Ay, po. Okay.
Here.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Bro, kita
Pangit na lang tayo
kits ba tayo sa
dito, ha?
Verdansk mamaya?
May squad ako, bro.
Ha? Ano?
May squad ako eh.
Okay.
Sabihan kita kung free.
Sabihin mo kung anong server lang. Tapos dyan na lang makita.
Asia, bro. Sama.
Asia ka?
Hackers.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Hindi kayo nag-exit lag?
Gusto ko nga ito eh. Pero, I don't know. I'm not good sure.
Alright, sige.
Try ko soon.
Okay, bro. Basketball muna. Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports and the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Paulo Del Rosado. In tonight's game plan, we'll break down today's big games in the NBA playoffs, including Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal's superstar performances against the Sixers. We'll also look ahead to Game 5 of the Lakers and the Suns, and what does this series mean for Chris Paul's legacy? And we'll go inside the game with TNT's JP Erram as he dreams bigger in his sophomore PBA season with the Tropang Giga. Now joining us today live in studio is, for the first time, UAP champion with the NU Lady Bulldogs and NBA hype analyst Camille Clarion. Cici, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Who would have thought that 2 years later from Mongolia we'd be here in studio?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like it's not as cold as
not as
Mongolia,
cold, for
but
sure.
you know what? It's still freezing here. I don't know how you're showing so much shoulder here.
Of course, I got in a workout before I came here. That's
All
why.
right. Okay. So let's go straight into the action here in the NBA in the Eastern Conference Game 4 between the Washington Wizards and the Philadelphia 76ers. There's Russell Westbrook getting ready for this one, as well as Joel Embiid at the Capital One Arena in DC. We start off with Ben Simmons going up high for the beautiful alley-oop. Now still in the first, Sixers Nation holds their breath as Joel Embiid will fall down hard, stays on the floor for a bit. Take a look at that one more time. Rough landing, but the process would get back up, and he'll score on a smooth drive to the basket. Unfortunately for Sixers Nation, he would leave the game with a sore right knee and not return. Meanwhile, it's Mr. Triple-Double with one of his 21 rebounds as he slams that one home with the putback. Our look at that there. Ferocity from Westbrook. Rui Hachimura joins in on the slam party with a nasty dunk of his own. Now, Rui Hachimura getting it done. Now, Bradley Beal showing off his range, and this time around finishing at the rim with style against the Sixers D. But the Sixers will try to keep this close and scrappy. Tyrese Maxey ends up with the steal and the slam. And on the other end, Beal would miss, but Daniel Gafford is there to clean up the glass with authority once again, attacking the rim. Sixers still hanging on. Seth Curry ties the game with this big jumper. And then this wild sequence here. Sixers fail to convert, but Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, finding Hachimura on the other end with a huge basket. And it's winning time. The ball ends up with who? Hachimura again as he sinks the trifecta to secure the win and continue their run in the playoffs. Wizards outlast the Sixers 122-114. Now taking a look at the scores from today's playoff games. Again, the Sixers dropped that one, but they still lead 3-1. And the Utah Jazz on the other end getting it done in Memphis 120-113. Jazz lead 3-1, and Donovan Mitchell with a 30-point game in that one. Now, joining me and Camille to talk about today's big games is, well, you know what, surprise, a new Bulldog star, Papa Colon himself. Very familiar to Cici, I hear at least. Sean Ildefonso. Okay, guys, sorry. So our Valentine's episode may have come a bit earlier. But, Sean, how are you?
Yes. I'm good. How are you? How are you, Camille?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay,
Okay, so let's start off with the big game before that gets any more awkward here for you. So the Wizards, a lot of people were anticipating would get swept, but then a big a big thing happened here today. That is Joel Embiid leaving the game early. And really, the Wizards did take advantage of that. Camille, how worried are you if you're a Sixers fan seeing Joel Embiid leave that game early?
Well, I'm obviously concerned because that leaves that big open presence, down in the paint. But honestly, the Sixers, I think, are still a lot more skilled and they have a lot more firepower than the other team. So I don't think they have any concern. Like, this is obviously an off game, but, the superstars can take over, especially, Ben Simmons. He needs to step up.
Well, interesting you mentioned Ben Simmons. Sean, looking at that game, they were playing hack-a-Ben towards the end, really daring him to get it done in the free throw line. What's your thought on that particular sequence?
Well, it was actually like it's pinaka-logical thing to do because Ben Simmons has been struggling over the years with his shooting. Siya yung tipong sinasabi nila pag kaliwete, di ba, shooter, pero siya ata yung kaliwete. Yeah, but it was actually, when I woke up in the morning, then the game was showing. Tapos nakikita ko lang by the end, they were just fouling him. When the Wizards would score, they would run towards Ben right away. It was a funny thing to do. And, I think there were like 3 straight free throw instances na nag-1 out of 2 siya. So it was really big for the Wizards.
Just like you, huh? Kind of similar.
Okay, look, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what to do right now. Okay, so wait, let's bring.
I get the job done, Camille. I get the job done.
All right. Speaking about getting the job done, you had Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal doing what is expected of them. Rui Hachimura, big boost on their end. Papa Colora, I'll let you have a chance to kind of redeem yourself. I guess I don't know. Your thoughts on Westbrook, especially with another monster triple-double game.
A lot of people don't know this, but I try to emulate Russell Westbrook's game. Trying to have that high intensity, high energy type of guy, and just like the combination of Russell and Bradley Beal was just incredible. Like superstar performance. Hopefully, matuloy nila, and try to be like this, be this consistent in the upcoming games, but. Russell was just like grabbing every rebound, 20 rebounds too. And for a guard to have those stats, it's just crazy. And Bradley Beal on the other side, he's a pure scorer, one of the best scorers in the NBA right now. And yeah.
Is he like Westbrook? I mean, in terms of work ethic and the way he approaches the game.
I would answer for CC.
Okay, let's hear what you have to say first before I go.
Again, I get the job done, and I'm a better shooter than you.
Oh, okay. As we're talking about stat lines?
Maybe not in the free throw line, because I hate free throws.
Hey,
but I can drop. I'm a buckets.
Okay. But let's win record, right? That's what's important, especially here in the playoffs. Compared to both of our NU teams, I think ours can speak for ourselves, but. Russell Westbrook can obviously attest to the fact that you guys both have high intensity. So, we love that. But once again, consistency. Are we going to see him, pull his team off to the playoffs, or are the Sixers going to take over?
Yeah, and that's really interesting, CC, that you brought that up. So we're talking about now Embiid. There's a potential that he might miss the next couple of games. Yeah. Now, without him there, CC, I'll throw this one out to you. Do you feel that the Wizards now have a puncher's chance to steal more than a game now that Embiid could possibly miss out?
I definitely think they have the chance to steal at least one game. The Sixers are going to have to change up their game plan because you're losing a huge presence on the inside of the court. So if their other teammates can step up, it gives opportunities to obviously Hachimura, who obviously had a great game, Lopez, they have chances to dig into that empty spot. But, if Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, if they can step up, then, this series is theirs.
Well, Sean, yung Sixers ngayon, they have that big lead. They're probably going to advance even if the Wizards did steal one. But let's say may injury problem si Embiid as a result of the last game. Do you feel that affects yung title chances ng Sixers, especially in the next round and moving on?
For sure, bro. Kasi sobrang big factor talaga ni Joel Embiid. Like, just make him stand there, like, inside the shaded lane. It's a big presence na. With a guy with that kind of size, madali ma-intimidate ang kalaban. And I'm for sure the Wizards have maraming game plan yan when he's inside the court. Pero yun nga, may possibility na he's gonna miss games. So I think there's gonna be a gagamitin ng Wizards to as an advantage for them. Try to attack more since Joel Embiid is not there. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see on that.
And it felt like a lot of the pressure suddenly came onto Ben Simmons kasi yun nga, nawala si Embiid. And then the onus went on Simmons. The Wizards challenged Simmons over and over again, and he was not able to deliver on this one. Do you feel that Ben Simmons needs to show that marami siyang haters eh? I don't know if you're a hater,
No,
if you're not a hater, but then marami siyang haters because he can't shoot from beyond the shaded area. Will he be tested even more now if Embiid is out for an extended stretch here in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Is it me or me?
I'll take it, Sean. I got you.
Okay.
So honestly, I mean, if you think about it, you have Danny Green.
Because you shoot better.
First of all, you have Danny Green, right, who was obviously part of that Raptors core that won the championship. But as you see what he's doing right now, he hasn't been producing on the three-point area. So obviously Ben Simmons can't take that, that burden off of Danny Green. So he has to step up, open up that outside presence so Ben Simmons can get inside and, open up the floor so that the shooters and the guards can take over and make it more of a guard-to-guard play.
Mm-hmm. Agree ka dyan? Sean?
Ako kasi hindi ako makarelate kasi, I'm a pure shooter. I'm wet.
Okay.
I'm wet outside. And, pero yun nga, bro, if siguro pag na-switch on miraculously switch on ni Ben Simmons yung shooting niya, if his shots are going in, it's gonna be a really, really
Lots of
huge
ifs.
factor for the Sixers. So we'll wait and see.
Pare, binibilang ni CC yung mga ifs mo in your statement.
I feel like he's kind of comparing himself to Ben Simmons. If he makes the shot, if he performs in UAAP.
Is this show called The Game or The Shade,
Oh,
Camille?
well, you know what? When she's on, apparently that's a segment. So let's see whether or not that will continue.
Hot takes.
All right, because we're not done with the both of you yet, because when we return, we'll preview to Game 5 of the Lakers and the Suns, and that's happening tomorrow. What does this series mean for Chris Paul's legacy? Keep it here. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. My friends, it doesn't get any better than this. The 2021 playoffs are here and all bets are off. Now, don't miss the NBA action tomorrow on NBA TV Philippines. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers travel to Arizona to face Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns for Game 5 of their Western Conference first round series. Now, so join us to talk about the upcoming Lakers and Suns matchup and what the series would mean for the careers of Chris Paul and LeBron James. We have I'm not reading this part, but we have one of the more, the loudest couples in the UAAP, Camille Claring and Sean Ildefonso. All right, guys, it got a bit testy just a while ago, and we're gonna keep on going there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking at this Lakers team right now. And they have an injury in Anthony Davis. And a lot of people are saying that if Anthony Davis is not 100%, the Suns could possibly steal this series away from the Lakers. Cece, you're excited at that idea.
Yes, I mean, you saw my hot take. We talked about this, that the Phoenix are going to pull through. So, everything's looking good. But obviously, you don't want injuries to happen. But the Phoenix Suns did prove that they could beat them with Anthony Davis healthy. So,
Sean, Camille's prediction is that the Suns would make the finals. All right, she put that on her bracket. It's on paper. Do you think that could possibly happen?
Absolutely not.
God, hater.
Because I am rooting for the Lakers. Sayang eh. I hope, AD pulls through. Sana gumaling siya. Pero I don't think the Suns gonna make it. I'm sorry. You have LeBron James, the greatest basketball player of all time. And yeah, dude, that's it. LeBron James. Like, how are you gonna stop that?
Okay, but in this series in particular, so nakita na natin that Chris Paul, when marginally healthy, makes a big difference. The night that they beat the Lakers without Anthony Davis, Chris Paul played for more than 30 minutes for the first time in the series. And that did make a big difference. Do you feel that without AD, the Lakers have a disadvantage against the Suns?
Sean will take this. Sean will take this.
Probably.
Okay, so I think, yes, they definitely have an advantage. The Suns definitely have an advantage. If you think about it, what championship has LeBron won without any help, right? Obviously, you're talking about Cleveland, Miami, the big three. You have Kyrie. And you see that every time Anthony Davis doesn't perform, LeBron struggles. Obviously, he's getting old, but he obviously, respect to him, he's still great and he can still put up the numbers. But, let's be realistic. Someone can't carry a team, especially at his age, plus he's obviously not in full condition to, go those whole 48 minutes as he did before.
Sean, your retort.
Basically, galing kasi mag-English si Camille.
Mag-Tagalog ka. Pwede naman eh.
But I will challenge you.
Okay, sa English?
Yeah. I mean, sabi niya nga, di ba, someone who is not healthy, ganyan. But that someone is LeBron James. Camille, LeBron James. Even though he's 36, 37, he's going to pull through. I bet you. If they win, you're never going to step foot in this house again.
All right, and if Suns win, you owe me Din Tai Fung. It's easy. Come on, let's make a bet.
I'm down because we're going to eat together.
This is the first time that dumplings have been put on stake here in the game, and I'm sobrang disappointed ako na hindi ako kasama sa bet na yan. But looking at this series in particular, a lot of people would say that okay, medyo even na because of the record. But Cici, you mentioned that the Suns have a bit of an advantage. Do you feel that if this does stretch to Game 7, will that be advantageous to the Lakers simply because it has more time for a guy like AD to come back into the series?
Yeah, obviously it has a chance for, him to get enough rest to kind of, go through and win that series. But obviously we're talking about him resting for a long time. And obviously in the playoffs, you kind of need that momentum to pick up. So I think obviously I'm going to bet on the Suns for them to pick up their momentum and then continue that run if they get there. Plus, obviously, Chris Paul, it's his time to shine. Although he might be injured, he's not at 100%. He's finally at a point in his career when he can, prove all the haters wrong to the people who said he can't take teams to the playoffs or more likely the finals.
Sean, sorry, but then I'm going to have to talk about Chris Paul now. I know you only want to talk about the Lakers, but then, ano yung legacy ni Chris Paul para sa'yo? Because what he's doing right now, in particular, he's taking a team that no one in the preseason expected that they would be in this position and a chance to possibly make a run to the finals. For you, what is Chris Paul's legacy so far, and what is he showing here with the Phoenix Suns?
Well, parang he's giving a new definition to greatness. For you to, sabi mo nga bro, for you to bring a team there, no one really had hopes for. It's a big thing, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of fans, have been wanting to see Chris Paul at least win a ring, diba? Or at least parang make it so far to the playoffs at least. Pero yun nga, his legacy, his game, even his personality is spoken a lot, and I cannot wait for him to succeed more in this playoffs.
Sean, si Camille already expects Chris Paul to at least come close to a ring, to at least make it to the finals. In your opinion, let's say, I know you don't want to think about it, but let's say they do get past the Lakers. Sa palagay mo ba, does Phoenix have what it takes to make it all the way to the finals and potentially get a ring for CP3?
Bro, I'm pretty sure that once you have that momentum, kahit ano pang ano mo, and for sure itong mga NBA players na to, that's why they're like the best in the world. I'm pretty sure they can handle that momentum very well. Especially, I think it's like the best time for Devin Booker to show what he can really, how he can really play, and Chris Paul being the one of the best floor generals ever to play in this game. I think they're gonna mix very well. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
So the highlight of this segment is that dumplings are on the line, and there's a possibility that CC may have to look for a new home to go to at the end of this series. I don't know if it's gonna happen. You can keep tabs on their social media. Again, Sean, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I was not ready for this, and I don't think CC was either.
Oh, I was ready. Always ready.
Was she? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So after the break. We'll go inside the game with TNT's JP Erram as he dreams bigger in his sophomore year with the TNT Tropang Giga. Stay tuned. You're watching the game.
We are now with JP Erram of the TNT Katropa. JP, alam natin, no, when the PBA bubble started, ikaw yung biggest addition, kumbaga, ng TNT Katropa. They traded for you with the hopes of you helping them. How do you rate yung naging performance mo and yung team in the last conference of the PBA?
Sa akin I think medyo nakulangan kasi yun nga, wala si kay Jason tsaka si Ray pagdating ng finals, they were both injured. So, parang ang nangyari kasi naging tagilid na lang na parang si Roger na lang yung gumagawa, and then si Troy kaming dalawa ni Troy medyo nawawala minsan. So based on my performance, medyo kulang pa talaga. Wala pa yung na parang hindi pa yung katulad ng ibang player na pag dinala ka sa ibang team, alam mo yung next step is kaya mo nang dalhin yung team to the next level. Pero yun nga, siguro factor din yung parang short lang yung yung preparation namin. Short lang yung time para mas makilala ko sila, mas maalam ko yung strength and weaknesses ng mga players, bawat isa. And then, all in all, as a team naman, I think sa materials namin coming to the finals, talagang lugi talaga kami. We were the underdogs. For me, kami yung underdog kasi injured si Ray, injured si Jason. Pero yun, no excuses kasi if you're a professional basketball player, alam mo pag may injured na isa, dapat yung isa mag-step up, diba? So, doon kami nagkulang talaga.
Alam ko matagal mo nang kilala si Coach Chot. You've been around each other, but this will be the first time you'll get to play for him. Ano yung mga first impressions nyo sa isa't isa?
Actually, nung umpisa medyo kinakabahan ako kasi sabi nila dati parang iba talaga siya mag-coach. Pero nung nakilala ko na siya, nakasama ko na sa practice, he was more about parang gusto niya talaga matuto ka, learning how to play the game, learning how to not to rely on your skills. Kailangan mo mag-rely sa teammates mo. So talagang malaking tulong na syempre sa experience niya sa mga player na naging nahawakan niya na ang dami talaga niyang experience. So yun, for me, ma-share niya yun sa akin, yun ma-apply ko sa game ko, malaking bagay. And then hindi siya yung pagdating, hayaan ka niya mag-isip sa inside the court. Hayaan na ikaw at yung mga teammates mo, babasahin yung isa't isa. Kailangan mag-aamuyan kayo, ganyan. Yun nga, parang at the end of the day, kailangan matuto kang maglaro na hindi mo kailangan tumawag ng plays, kailangan mo lang mag-amuyan lang kayo, create mismatches, ganyan. Tapos create yung teammate mo, ikaw, ma-open ka. Yung mga ganun ba na sobrang laking bagay na minsan hindi natuturo. Kasi siyempre nag-rely ka sa sistema, di ba? Sa kanya, we have a system, pero sabi niya na hindi nyo kailangan mag-rely sa system. Kailangan nyo mag-rely kung ano yung gagawin ng teammates nyo.
nakakatulong ba dun sa kumpiyansa mo that someone who has already won multiple championships in the PBA is now leading your squad?
Oo naman. Yun nga, sobrang laki na experience nila, not just in PBA, syempre internationally, sobrang laki na experience nila. So, nakakataas din ng confidence na alam mo na anytime na kunyari magkamali ako or yung mga teammates namin, nandiyan yung mga veteran mag-a-advise sa amin. Kasi sila mismo, alam na nila yung feeling na kung ano yung maging nasa taas ka palagi, di ba? Alam nila yung ganun. So, syempre kami na mga bago pa lang sa team na to, mga sila Troy, sila Roger, sila yung mga bago, sila JJ, sila. So, ang laking tulong na alam mong nandyan sila mag-guide sa'yo. Alam mong hindi sila magagalit. Instead of na magagalit sila, they're there to encourage you and to give you advice on how to improve your game para mas makatulong pa and mas makuha niyo yung goal.
Finally, JP, your personal goals and your goals for TNT sa paparating na season ng PBA.
Siyempre, personal goals is to help the team in any way possible para every game manalo kami. And then, as a team, as a group, siyempre, yun yung pinaka-goal namin is to win a championship. Yun naman talaga yung goal ng lahat ng players sa team namin, lalo na si Coach Shot. Kasi kakadating lang niya. So, I think ngayon, itong ginagawa namin sa training camp, magpipay up to for sure. Kasi we were sacrificing a lot for this. Iwan namin pamilya namin, tapos yung time and effort namin. Nagiging selfish kami pagdating sa pamilya namin. Pero selfish kami because we know there's something bigger na ma-accomplish namin after this.
Well said. JP, all the best to you. Stay safe, stay healthy out there.
That was our Carlo Pamintuan with Inside the Game with Poy Erram. And interesting that Poy spoke about redemption a lot. Again, coming really close last time around the PBA bubble. And you feel that drive is there to kind of right the ship next time around.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story of redemption, especially for underdogs. When you know that PBA has lots of super teams, obviously. So obviously, I'm going to root for them. They have the chance. They have good players. They have great scorers, especially. So they just have to create that good chemistry right now and prepare themselves for the season.
Well, and Coach Chot is at the helm in that one, so it's going to be very interesting what he could do and get them going. Again, thank you very much to Camille Clarin for joining us here today. Tyler came up to you yesterday and I think gave you a few notes and I think his notes were a bit accurate because you came in and with an idea of what's going to happen and you dealt with Sean very well.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Put him in his place.
Okay. All right. And with that, thank you very much for joining us. Catch us on weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo De Rosario. This has been The Game.